Hello and welcome to episode 251 of the Thinking LSAT podcast in Los Angeles. I'm Nathan Fox. With me in Vienna, Virginia is Ben Olson. Ben, what's the latest?
One of my kids had a birthday.
Happy birthday. Which one?
The youngest.
Yeah? He's the one that loves money. Did you give him cash?
Oh wait, no, that's the second. The second oldest loves money. I'm sure they all love money on some level. But
I liked the idea that the baby was the one that was like all about the cash, but no, it's not the baby.
Yeah, but he did get Amazon money and fruit snacks. He loves fruit snacks.
Awesome. Sounds like a perfect birthday.
Yeah.
Today on the show, we have some PSAs about the LSAT Flex and also about LSAT writing. We have a question / commentary from a listener about changes to the admission cycle because of COVID. I've got some thoughts on COVID. I think we need to have like a COVID update.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, not that I know anything, but I think we need to talk about it a little bit.
Sure.
We have a law school update from a listener, basically a success story and someone who used our personal statement service. It worked out well.
Okay.
We have a question about, it's from a freshman in college who wants to know if he's too soon on preparing for the LSAT. We got a couple logical reasoning questions from Prep Test 65. We'll get to at least one of those, see how much time we have. Maybe we'll do two.
Okay.
And we have an update from Dean Faigman of UC Hastings on his litigation against the city of San Francisco.
Lovely.
It's a long ass email. Ain't no way we're going to read all of that.
Has he ever written a short email?
No, no, he has not. The show is going to air on Monday, June 22nd. Upcoming events include the July LSAT Flex is going to start on Sunday, July 12th. We've got a registration deadline for the August LSAT. Wednesday, July 15th is going to be the deadline to register for August. We have no idea whether that's going to be flex or not. Ben, you've already prognosticated that you do think that will become a flex.
Mm-hmm.
We have that test is scheduled for Saturday, August 29th, but who knows? All the tests, by the way, for the 2020 and 2021 testing cycle are open for registration on lsac.org. So if you want to look for those registration dates and whatnot, you can go to LSAC and sign up. You can email the show. We are help@thinkinglsat.com. Our awesome producer, Annalisa, will get back to you in a flash, apparently. It's sort of like her brand to get back to people immediately, especially when she does the help requests for the demon, which Annalisa, we are very grateful for you getting back to people so quickly.
Yeah.
In those customer service emails. That's really important. So thank you. If you enjoy the show and you want to help us out, you can leave us a review on iTunes. You can just tell a friend about it as well. We still have no marketing budget whatsoever for the show or for anything we do. So we rely on your goodwill out there in the internet world. Let's see. Should we dive in? Oh,
let's do it.
Let me make just a pitch for my new class that I'm doing in the LSAT Demon Live. I'm doing it this Wednesday as a pop-up, just a one-off thing. But Wednesday night, Ben, is going to be game night for all of our LSAT Demon Live subscribers.
So D&D?
It's not D&D, and it is not Gloomhaven or Dominion or any other awesome online game. Okay. It's going to be even better. It's going to be LSAT logic games. And the way the class is going to work is basically you just show up, bring in a game you want, and I will fire them up on the whiteboard, and we'll just kind of talk about it. I don't know. I think it's going to be fun. I might have a cocktail during that because it does seem like game night. I've seen all the games before.
Yeah.
I don't have to be super careful with it because we have videos for all the games already in the Demon. So I can just be like, if I fuck it up, I'll just be like, oh, well, whoops, oops. Yeah. Watch Ben's video. I'm sure Ben did a great job. Anyway, I think it'll be a fun class. I'm having a lot of fun with the Demon Live students. So Yeah, just figured why not.
Cool, man. That's exciting.
Yeah. You want to check out these PSAs that we have?
Yeah, we got three PSAs.
3 PSAs. Yeah.
So number 1, 2 nights at hotel for flex. Oh yeah, okay. So a student wrote in and said, "Hey, look, here's my email from LSAT, and they were allowed to stay at their hotel for 2 nights to accommodate the fact that the test was going to be administered, I think at like 2:15 in the afternoon.
Yep.
And so that's too early for check-in, and that's too late for checkout. So LSAC is covering their hotel for 2 nights. Now,
that's
I still
awesome.
think that they were capped at $125. I'm not sure about that, but either way, it happened. And that's the same listener who got a tablet from LSAT.
Oh, right.
Return to get their score.
It's amazingly generous. I mean, for a test that costs $200 for you to even take it. Do you happen to know if the student was also a fee waiver, LSAC fee waiver?
I'm pretty sure they were.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes kind of more sense. But they're bizarrely. I mean, it's unbelievable. They have a lot of money, apparently.
But they figure it's cheaper to do that than to get sued, maybe,
Yeah, and they have been sued many, many, many times. So so for the LSAT Flex, if you don't have a convenient place to take the test, with reliable internet or a quiet space or whatever, they're willing to put you up in a hotel to take the Flex. And if you don't have a computer, which it kind of strikes me as bizarre in 2020 that you would be signing up to take the LSAT, but you don't have any kind like a computer that would work to take the Flex on. It's kind of strange, but I guess some people don't. You do have to have like a working webcam. I know sometimes people's cameras are fucked up, but anyway, they will ship you a tablet. Is that what they've shipped? They got lots of those.
Yeah. They're like, let's make use of these.
Yeah.
I'm sure. How many are sitting in storage? At least 10,000.
They're like, just keep it. We got plenty of them. So they're shipping out one of those tablets. I wonder if do you think it's the same tablet?
It looked like it. It was a Microsoft Go in the picture.
So they're shipping out the tablets for you to take the Flex on, and they'll put you up in a hotel room. Now you have to game the system, Ben, because ProctorU, when you sign up with ProctorU, you pick a time for the Flex. So if you're smart, you pick a time that's after checkout but before check-in, because then they have to put you up in the hotel for 2 nights.
Who wants to stay in a hotel for 2 nights?
Well, it's like a little vacation, courtesy of the Law School Council.
Sure.
You can't stay in like a nice hotel.
Is this like a Best Western? A Motel 6,
Westerns are kind of nice actually in California on the Central Coast. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Like in San Luis Obispo or whatever. Like the Best Westerns are like not really. They're whatever. They're not like super fancy or anything, but they're pretty solid.
Sure.
So yeah, if you can find a hotel that you would like to stay in that costs $125 a night or less, then and then you schedule your test for like 2 p.m. because that's definitely before check-in and also after check-out. And so then you get to arrive the day before and then stay 2 nights. That's how you can actually make money. So it cost you $200 to take the test, but you can get $250 a night. $250 worth of hotel.
Well, I think we're gonna have to verify that though, because I thought the 125 was like a total. But I don't know how this guy would go to a hotel for 2 nights. It seemed like a decent hotel too. I can't remember the hotel, but I remember seeing the
I saw that email. I thought that they covered it for him for 2 nights. I mean, because how could they not? We were actually speculating about that on the show. We were like, wait, how does that work with checkout time? So I mean, if you schedule your test for like 6 p.m., then clearly you're only going to be able to get one night, because that's going to be, before check-in, and you can take it that same day. And then, anyway, what other PSA do we have?
We got number 2. The Flex clock and directions. Apparently, the Flex displays the instructions while the 35-minute timer is ticking.
Yeah.
Students are caught unaware. Not sure if this is how the digital LSAT always is. It is, by the way. But we
Yeah.
should
This
at
is
least
my
do a
email, by the
PSA.
way. You don't have to read
Oh,
all that.
okay. Oh,
Yeah. Can we just talk about it? Is it so this is a thing, right? Like, I don't even think
this
about
is
the
a thing.
instructions.
Yeah.
The
So what
instructions
happens
never
is
change, right? They're just
they never change. This
on the
is the
paper
same
test, they were
boring.
always at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And you would just not even read them because you know what it is. You just have to do the questions. It's like there's no point in reading the instructions. But what's going on now with the digital LSAT and the Flex apparently is the same?
Yeah, so when the proctor starts the section, you're taken to a screen in which you can see the navigation. So you can see the list of questions at the bottom of your screen, but you have this other message, the directions that are overlaying the text, so you can't see the actual section, and you got to get rid of those directions to see the questions, but the timer is already ticking. That's true on the digital LSAT and on the Flex. It's stupid. I mean, no one needs to read those directions.
You shouldn't read those directions, but that is a bummer. I mean, I had at least one student claimed that they like looked at the instructions for 5 minutes because
Oh my gosh.
they didn't think that they just didn't know that the section had started. Like they thought,
Yeah.
oh, the instructions are taking up the whole screen. Like, where's the first question? And they were like just kind of sitting there waiting.
Yeah. Well, I have to apologize then because that's one thing that the demon does do. It waits. We did that for various reasons, but we won't be doing that going forward.
Going forward, we probably need to, when you click start, it should display the directions.
So it does display the directions. That's part of the confusion, but the timer doesn't start until you hide them.
Okay.
Yeah. There are various reasons we did that, but anyways, yeah, we will remedy that. So
yeah. Anyway, those
sorry.
instructions never change. You should be familiar with them. It actually doesn't even matter if you are familiar with them, because if you're familiar with the questions, then you're familiar with the questions. But yeah, when the timer, when they start, it's going. So you need to get rid of the instructions and start working on the first question. Okay. Yeah. PSA 3.
Yep. LSAT writing. Show both sides of the paper. Oh, so this is I don't know if we can say his name, but someone wrote in and said, "Hey Ben, I made a boneheaded move and accidentally forgot to show both sides of my paper when I was doing my writing sample. I saw on Reddit that other people made the same mistake but were fine. I was curious if you had any insight on this. I don't think they're going to care, but just to be sure, make sure you show both sides of your paper so they can't dock you for it."
Yeah, you could get some proctor who just really is, Boy Scout.
Yep, wants to earn their
tip of the spear, going to really defend the integrity of the LSAT writing by, making everybody stick to the letter of the law. So you should.
I wonder what cheat sheet you'd bring into the writing sample.
I do not.
What cheat sheet would you bring into the test too? That's another funny thing. I mean, I remember when I took it a long time ago, someone in front of me had a Kaplan one sheeter. It was like, this like kind of hard plastic. It wasn't quite 8.5 by 11, but anyways, it had all of
laminated list of turds.
Yeah. Yes. A laminated list of turds, an LLT. Anyways, they were just like, trying to digest that right before they went into the test. I don't understand the purpose of that.
It was like, read the question stem first, skip around on the logic games and try to pick the one that you think you like the type of the best. Also on logical reasoning, skip through the questions and do the types that you're the best at.
Remember, you're racing the clock. You only have 35 minutes.
Remember,
that
you
is
must
1 minute
answer every question in at least 85 seconds. Yeah.
Wow.
We know that wasn't helping anybody. They should give you extra bonus points if you read that before the section starts.
But yeah, if you do well
like
despite reading this.
Wow. All right. Well, no, I don't know how you would ever cheat on the LSAT writing. But you should just follow all those instructions just in case.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah. So this student was freaking out. He like emailed, he called me. I was with a student. I couldn't answer. He also, I mean, he was just like frantic about like, what's going to happen with my LSAT writing? I mean, I thought worst case, they were just going to cancel it and make him do it again. Right.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that he's going to get like a demerit or like a black mark on his permanent record or whatever.
And isn't it like $15? I mean, we're not talking like 200 here.
No,
so.
right. It's not like getting your official LSAT canceled would suck because that's like $200 and the whole day.
You have to wait. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, LSAT writing. Yeah, you can also do LSAT writing anytime. So, nah, don't worry about that one. I don't think. Okay, ready for this next thing? Okay, I scanned this before the podcast. This is not a well written or reasoned email, unfortunately, but it's going to give us the opportunity to do some COVID speculations, which I would really like to do.
Okay.
It says, "Hey, Annalisa, thanks for responding to my email." See, Annalisa, she's all over it. She's just customer service.
We're going to just retire and let Annalisa take over.
Yeah, totally. It says, "I'm curious to see if Ben or Nathan, or you for that matter," so she's also becoming, perfect. She could just take over. Have any updated thoughts on the situation now that the virus is beginning to wind down for the most part?
I don't know that that's true. I think people are acting like it's winding down.
Right. So this is Oscar who's writing in, and thank you, Oscar, very much for writing in, but I will question your conclusion that COVID is winding down for the most part. I would say that this is more like the break in between the first and second quarter of the game, but this ain't the final stages of this by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, it's okay. I was wondering if anything has changed in the response in terms of what the guys and you, Annalisa, think the next cycle will look like. It seems to be that a lot of schools are locking in who they can for this cycle, but do we think it will be the same next cycle now that the virus is beginning to wind down? I'd imagine that the amount of people who deferred this year will take up top spots next year, in addition to more people applying than usual due to the incoming recession. Happy to hear you and your team's thoughts. And then Oscar wrote again and said, "For what it's worth, a few of the law school forums I subscribe to are looking at the amount of applicants for the LSAT this year in comparison to the same months of last year from January to September. That is to say, January through September of 2019, approximately 93,000 test takers. In contrast to January to September 2020, and then it says about 43,000 applicants." Can you make any sense of that?
I hope it's a typo, because otherwise we're just comparing apples to oranges. Right? I mean, applicants versus test takers.
Yeah, so if he meant test takers.
Yeah.
But I see another problem with the logic there. How does he know how many test takers there are January to September of 2020?
That's a good question.
I mean, they might have information on how many people are currently registered for the tests January through September of 2020, but the registration is still open.
Oh, people would still be registering, yeah.
Wait, I mean, we just announced at the top of the show that the registration deadline for August is not until July 15th, which means that there is a September LSAT, right? This year?
There's an August 29th LSAT, so that's essentially.
Oh, maybe there's no September LSAT.
No September. There's October 3rd.
In that case, yeah, and okay, so but now we're not counting that October test, and the tests are not exactly the same schedule as they were last cycle, so I just don't know that this is meaningful at all. But could be. Could there be that dramatic of a decline in the number of people who actually took the LSAT because of COVID and flex and all that?
Okay, so I just pulled up.
Yeah,
some
let's hear
data
it.
from LSAC.
Good, thank you.
Okay, so this is actually application data because that's really what we want, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that
or are
makes a
we
lot
trying
more
to?
sense than test taker. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess we could extrapolate from test takers as well, but this is more direct. So this is as of June 18th, 2020. Holy shit, that's yesterday for at least
That
the
is
recording of
yesterday.
this show. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So this is what it says. So I'm on lsac.org. This is actually report.lsac.org, 3-year comparison.aspx. Okay. It says as of June 18th, 2020, yesterday, there were 366,000 applications submitted by 60,000 applicants for the 2020-2021 academic year.
Okay. And
Okay.
those should be all in by now.
Yes. Yep.
Unless you're trying to get away with some sneaky last minute because of COVID. Because we've talked about this. I mean, there could be a lot of people deciding to defer or deciding not to go this year. I can see people getting weirdly lucky this cycle, like sneaking in applications late. But anyway, most of them should be in.
Most of them should be in.
So how many is it?
So that's about 60,000. It's 59,399.
And what do we have compared? We can compare that to the previous year.
Yeah. So it says, well, this is, and I don't know how helpful this is going to be because a lot of this stuff had happened.
No, most of the applications should have been in before COVID, really, right? Like what this happened at the first week of March. Is that about when
I remember
really
March 16th was kind of where like we started to believe it. So anyways, as a country, there's collective belief there. Anyways, as compared to 1 year ago, current applications are down 0.9%. So basically 1% down. As compared to 2 years ago, current applications are up, or applicants, let me clarify that, applicants, which is really what we're concerned about, are up 2.4%. As compared to 1 year ago, the current applications are, now we're talking about applications. Current applications are down 1.4% as compared to 2 years ago. Current applications are down 2.8%. Oh, that's interesting. So applicants are up, but applications are down. So people aren't applying to as many schools.
That's a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. So
not much change.
These are not, those numbers are not significantly different.
They're not significantly different, but they are, like you said, based on applications that should have been in before COVID hit. So maybe we do need to look at test data, huh?
I don't know. My guess is that fewer people were able to take the test because of tests getting canceled and because of difficulties getting registered for the flex or whatever, or being worried about the flex and not wanting to take the flex for no good reason. My guess would be that tests are down a little bit. Do you have that?
Yeah, it's pulling up right now. Okay, let's take a look. This graph is a little confusing, but okay. So we have registered test takers for the 2020-2021 year. That's all they're giving us. Well, that's kind of tough. Okay. I can break this down. Okay, so last year for the June test, we had 18,000 registered.
Okay.
And this year we had 9,000. So it's half. Last year, July test was 24,000. This year it was 20,000.
That's not
this
even
year, though,
down
we
really
also
high.
have the August test.
Which last year we had September. I don't think that's that much different. I think it's late August instead of early September.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to say it was September 8th last year. It sticks in my head for some reason. It's probably wrong. Say that.
We'll just throw it out there. I wonder if there's anyone writing that down. Like, oh, okay, last year the test.
I'm gonna fact check Nathan on that. I'm gonna fucking burn this guy down on Reddit.
3 Pinocchios. So right now there are 12,000 people registered for the August LSAT. Last year there were 20,000 people registered for it, but we still got time to go. So we really just have to look at June and July. And yeah, that's probably the best test to look at, right? Because that's post COVID. People could maybe, I don't know, change. Anyways, so it looks like it's like down maybe like 25%, 30%.
That's fewer people taking the LSAT. Applications don't seem to have changed a lot. If we're going to do random speculation about the cycle, I would think that lots of people are going to sensibly defer this year or not go. I would think that the law school's got to be hurting pretty bad this fall. It just doesn't make any sense that they wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, Ben? We'll get to Hastings and their lawsuit about the tents and open air drug dealing that are happening in the Tenderloin, because that's the Tenderloin. But can you imagine like moving to the Tenderloin to go to law school in the middle of COVID? No fucking way.
Yeah.
No way. And lots of people, I think, they don't want to go to law school online. So I think lots of people are just saying, hey, this ain't the year to go to law school. Sorry.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that means they're not going to go to law school at all. So if I was going to randomly speculate, I would guess that means that next cycle will be more competitive.
I think it will be. And I think these numbers are low in June and July because a lot of people, like a lot of businesses, were acting like deers stuck in headlights. Right? Everybody's like, COVID happened, and they're like,
People don't know
what am
what
I
to
going to do? What do I do? And
Yeah.
some of people, I don't know if I'm going to go to law school. I don't know if I'm going to do this.
Justifiably.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But I think everything just kind of stopped, right? And so then people probably put off the LSAT. That's why we have lower numbers here. I bet a lot of those people, they're going to get used to the new normal. We always do, no matter how shitty it is, right? The Walking Dead, everybody got used to that. So I'm just saying, like, you just get used to, you go, this is crazy. And then you go, okay, this is my new reality. So I think people are going to come back into the fold. I don't know though. My prediction is that it won't be that much of an increase. Like people are going to come back, but I don't think it's going to be this like wave. And all of a sudden you have the impending recession, but it's different than before. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be I think it's an expensive product. That's my prediction.
Okay. So I think that I think we've covered Oscar's question. I mean, he says there's people speculating that because this recession isn't caused by an inherent flaw in the economy, contrasted with the financial institution failure of 2008, but instead it's caused by a pandemic. So the countrywide approach to jobs and higher education might be different in response compared to recessions of the past. That's a very content-free statement.
It might be different. Yeah, it might be.
It might be
in
different.
what way?
Little LSAT tip there. That's normally a bad answer for a strengthen or weaken question, because different in what way, right? Could be used as a strengthener, could be used as a weakener. We just don't know what you're talking about. So it's probably not the answer on a strengthen or weaken question. Anyway, Oscar, the part I want to warn Oscar against the idea that COVID is beginning to wind down for the most part. Ben, I don't know where you're getting your COVID data, but I put this link in the comments there in the agenda. Have you clicked on that yet?
No, I just clicked on it.
Can you take a look at it with me?
Yeah.
For just a sec. So this is what I've been kind of monitoring over the past few months. It's deaths per million, and it's a rolling 7-day average. So deaths per million population, so that we can take out. It's just ridiculous when you see people comparing the total number of deaths in countries that have vastly different populations. Don't do that, idiots. Makes no sense. So here I have a bunch of like modern countries, and we can just see what the death rate, the 7-day average moving death rate for, this is a little morbid, sorry y'all. At the peak, which turned out to be on this chart, April 22nd was the highest that the 7-day moving average for deaths got for the United States. And we had 8 people per million population dying every day. at the peak.
Hmm.
We now have 2 people per million dying every day. Dying.
Yeah.
I like looking at deaths rather than cases because what we really care about is deaths, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cases it's inherently flawed to look at cases because the more tests you do, the more cases you have, and deaths is like the stat that doesn't lie, or at least it's a little more clearly this person died of COVID, and so
Yeah.
I think deaths is a better thing to look at. But my point is, we have now reached this long tail. It is still slowly declining for now.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
is slowly declining, but we're still at, a quarter as many people were dying at the peak are dying now. And with the economy reopening everywhere, it's just inevitable that this is going to start ticking back up. Am I out of line to say that? Like,
No, I would be surprised if it didn't.
yeah, I would be surprised if it didn't. And I think especially in the fall, which we've got a ways to go still before the fall, but when schools start reopening / people start gathering indoors more because the weather gets colder. I read an interesting thing the other day. Arizona, fuck Arizona, by the way, but Arizona has
Mm-hmm.
the one of the highest rates now, like most growing COVID
Oh,
rates are in
no, I
Arizona.
didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and people were speculating it's because of in Arizona you actually have to be inside because it's so fucking hot.
Oh,
Because
interesting.
Arizona is disgusting, but
So the summer issue, so maybe these viruses don't spread so much in the summer because of
because you're outside.
the heat. It's just the location.
It's
Interesting.
because people are outside. People are more spread out. When you're
Yeah,
when you're outside playing baseball or hiking or whatever, you're not probably getting COVID, or at least you're not nearly as much as you are if you're inside at a basketball game.
for sure. It's
You
perfect
know,
ventilation.
yeah, it makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um. So, but I do want I'm irritated. I want Republicans and
Mm-hmm.
Democrats to shut the fuck up. I want everyone to shut the fuck up. I'm so sick of it. It's just so stupid. I live in
What?
California,
Mm-hmm.
where our Democratic governor, Gavin Newsom,
Mm-hmm.
tweeted, like, it's like it comes off as so hysterical. All Californians are now required to wear a mask when they leave the home. And turns out that if you like click into it, there is like more fine print and there's like more nuance to it than that.
Yeah.
But that's the announcement. And that's all anybody's going to hear is just the announcement.
Mm-hmm.
And when that's your announcement, it's just clearly pandering to people who already are on that team.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to change anybody's mind about anything. Like, I'm a skeptical, I lean left for sure,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also like a sensible, skeptical person. And so I hear that and it's like, wait a second. Okay, so you're mandating that everyone wears a mask like the second they leave the house? Really, Gavin? Okay, first of
Yeah.
all, what's your authority to do that? How are you going to enforce that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you going to do? Is the LAPD going to be out there like writing tickets and probably beating people up in order to enforce the mask requirement? What? Is it just are you just declaring that we're required to do it
Yeah.
because you're the governor and we are supposed to believe, do what you say or whatever? And
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I will obviously wear a mask if I go inside a fucking building.
Yeah.
But that's not the message. The message isn't like wear a mask when you're going to get close to other people or wear a
Yeah.
mask when you're inside. It's just this stupid pronouncement of like wear a mask all the time everywhere. I just did some traveling, Ben. I like drove north and I saw my parents which whatever, you're not supposed to do. It's fine. I go to my parents' community.
Yeah.
They
Mm-hmm.
don't know a single person who has ever had COVID. They know that it's around. They don't think it's like entirely fake, but they're not
Mm-hmm.
wearing masks anywhere. And they're I mean, they're outside doing things, and they're just not getting COVID.
Oh, here's an interesting observation regarding that. You're talking about that community, right? Well, I was in Home Depot the other day and Whole Foods, and they enforce the mask
Yeah,
pretty rigorously, right?
yeah.
My kids wanted to go to the dollar store. I was like, okay, all right. They're like, will you drive us to the dollar store? I was like, okay, sure. So I drive them to the dollar store, and I'm like, you guys need your masks? They're like, no, they don't wear them at the dollar store. Even the employees don't wear them. I was like, oh, okay, well.
I mean, that's frightening, actually. That's like, yeah, well, hey, it is hitting poorer communities worse than it's hitting, more affluent communities. We know that for sure. It's hitting urban people more than it's hitting rural people. I just can't believe that the governor of the state of California is making a pronouncement like that, because I know how my neighbors are going to react to that, which is
Mhm.
most of my neighbors are going to be like, yeah, we're already wearing masks. We live in the city and we're like progressive liberal people, and we basically trust that this is the right thing to do for the community. So we're basically doing that, even though I'm like, fuck you, I'm not wearing a mask when I'm hiking. That's
Yeah.
dumb. It's just
Yeah.
fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. Like, write me a
Yeah.
ticket because I'm not doing it. And, but I will wear a mask in the store or the restaurant or whatever. Like, I'm not a fucking idiot. But I can just imagine how it plays with the MAGA hat crowd.
Mhm.
Like, they see Gavin Newsom making that pronouncement and they're like, fuck that. This is tyranny. Masks don't even work. And COVID is a lie. And I'm never going to, I'm not doing any of this stuff. And it's like, okay, well, so it's like you're making Trump look good to these
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
with your, because it's not a nuanced message. It's not and then like Biden on Twitter, he's got his profile picture is him wearing a
And a mask.
mask that's all sideways and he looks like an idiot. And it's like, dude, you're okay. So you're pandering to the people who already want to do that. And you're making yourself look like an ass for the people who don't want to do that. And so that's what it's going to be, Ben. From now till November, it's just going to be we've got fully politicized COVID.
I'm looking up Twitter. Oh, wow.
That mask isn't even on straight. I don't know
No.
how. I don't know who in his social media thought that was a good idea. It's like, you look like a fucking idiot.
And he's got his sunglasses on. He looks.
I think he thinks he looks cool, or I think but it is for his team. It's like that's what they're going with. Like, that's their message, like, we're wearing masks because we're good, we're strong citizens for the community, and we're protecting ourselves by
Oh my gosh.
always wearing a mask. Even on Twitter, we're wearing a mask.
Why do we have such bad choices?
I don't
Last
fucking know.
last time we had Clinton and Trump. Now I realize that some people love both of those folks, but I think they're both just like not great politicians. I don't know. I don't understand. Now we have Biden and Trump. Gosh, it's just like,
Two super old fucking white men, and they're just like gonna be yelling stupid things at each other for the next 4 months, and I'm fucking out. I'm out. I don't like everyone can fuck off. I don't care. Like, if I want one rational person, Ben, to be like, we actually don't know. We really don't know a lot about this. We really don't. I want someone to say, well, we locked down the country because we were worried that the hospitals were going to get overrun.
mhm.
Turns out we did a decent job. The hospitals didn't get overrun. But like, people around here, like, I have like the ultra liberal, urban friends who, it's like they think that they're going to stamp out COVID,
Yeah.
or it's like they think they're going to go on full quarantine until there's a vaccine. That isn't happening. That's a fantasy. I
Mhm.
mean, it could miraculously happen, but it's not likely. We don't have a flu vaccine that works with perfect certainty. I get the
Yeah.
flu shot. I think the flu helps me to resist the flu.
Yeah.
Does the flu shot make me immune from flu? No. Am I immune from flu because I got the flu before? No. So it's like, I don't think coronavirus is going away, and I don't think that we can like fully prevent it by taking crazily extreme measures. And so it's like, I don't know why isn't anyone in the public eye, like in the middle ground? Maybe that's what I need to be, Ben. Maybe I should reinvent myself as like a centrist
Wouldn't you say
politician.
Dr. Fauci is closer to middle? I mean, he's definitely on the pro, like, let's shut things down side, but he seems to be more like like his comments are qualified.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him lately. I don't know why.
He's probably being suppressed, right? That's how the government
I
works
did
these
hear
days.
something about how someone asked him if he was going to the Trump rally, and he was like, fuck no, I'm not going to the rally.
Yeah.
Like, no. Are you crazy? No.
He might not be going for COVID reasons, but he might not be going for just other.
He's like, I hate that guy. No, I try to spend as little time as possible with that asshole.
Hey, I gotta read you Biden's Twitter description.
Can't wait.
It says loves ice cream, aviators, and Amtrak. What random things?
He's trying to be human. I mean, that was his brand, was like riding Amtrak, because he's like such a good citizen that he would ride Amtrak from
down from Delaware or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Still, it's just a weird set of three things.
He's a douche. I have no enthusiasm whatsoever. Well, thank God I live in California, where my vote for president just doesn't matter anyway. So
yeah,
whatever. I will do my usual, sign my absentee ballot and hand it to a friend who cares and say, do a good job with this. That's my illegal citizenship.
Yeah, you just admitted to a crime? Okay, that's good.
I don't fucking care. Arrest me.
Arrest me and don't put that mask on me.
Maybe I'll commit a felony and then I'll lose my right to vote. That'd be great. Then I don't have to have the obligation of voting for people that I don't like.
Yeah, and then you could always just blame them. You could say, hey, I would if I could, but I can't. So
yeah. All right. Send hate mail to me directly. I deserve it. Nathan@lsatdemon.com. Don't bother Annalisa. Don't bother Ben. It's my own opinions, but God, fucking everybody could just shut up. And if one person could just be like, we just don't know. We did the best we can. Probably locking down for 4 years while we wait for a vaccine that might never come is probably not the right answer. But I'm like optimistic, actually, Ben, that we showed the ability to shut down to prevent the nightmare scenario of our hospitals getting overrun.
Yeah.
That's the best we can do. Now, if your grandma is 90 and would die the second she got COVID, then yeah, you got to be super careful about your grandma.
Oh, I should say that's the best that we can do given the level of preparedness that we are at. But it's pretty amazing what South Korea has done.
Well, okay, I take it back. We could have done contact tracing.
Yeah.
Which we just didn't do at all. And if we had like more of a communal society, if that was like our culture, was to put the society first, then we could have shut down, done contact tracing, and just basically eliminated it. I mean, it would still be around and it would still be a risk, but if you do the contact tracing and stuff, then you can at least like get on it the second it happens.
Yeah, but and not shut down.
It's America. That's not how we are. We're dicks. It's every man for himself here. That's how it is.
Yeah.
So, it does seem like leadership could have gotten their shit together and done contact tracing instead of all of the nonsense that we did. That should have been basically the work program, right? It should have just been like, oh, you're unemployed? Great. You're hired as a contact tracer.
Yeah.
That would have been a pretty good solution.
Yeah.
Obviously they didn't
put all that money into something useful.
No, instead it's like, did you hear this thing about like a credit for travel? This is just it probably is fake news, because now who even knows what's real anymore, right? You just hear like random headlines floating around, but something about like they had floated the idea of the next stimulus was going to be like a $4,000 like basically travel voucher for people to like encourage people to move around the country.
Oh my gosh.
As a way of stimulating the economy and also simultaneously stimulating the COVID virus.
Politicians. Yeah, I really wish they would shut up. They do seem like people who, couldn't do anything better with their lives.
They seem clearly interested in one thing only, which is getting elected. And it's just, it's the blue team and the red team, and
Mm.
everybody is fucking stupid. That's my opinion. I'm not on either. I'm not on either team.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's enough of that rant as we lose half of our audience who are all super engaged citizens who feel strongly. Probably everyone who listens is either on the red team or the blue team. Well, sorry
I
guys.
don't know about that. Is it?
I
I hope
hope
not.
not. I hope that we've got some independent thinkers out there, or just some people who recognize how fucking stupid all these people are. God damn it. Okay, anyway, next email.
Yeah. Hey, Nathan. Oh, wait. What's this? Oh, I thought this was Faigman. No.
No, it was an email to me. This is from it's redacted. She wants to be called Stress Free 1L. But this is from a former student of ours and personal statement service client,
Okay.
and it is a success story.
Cool. Hey, Nathan, I wanted to update you on my law school plans. It's been a minute since I last emailed you with the world ending and such. Okay. Yeah. In case you don't remember my story, I had done your online class, The Demon, and listened faithfully to the podcast. I am redacted and I have been for something 12 years. Okay. You helped me choose a topic and write a personal statement that showed I was a complete badass already and that badassery would translate to law. With a lot of hard work and some killer advice from both you and Ben, I applied to 14 schools at the beginning of October with a 162 LSAT and a 3.91 GPA. Side note, the 162 was my fourth official attempt. I improved 20 points from my diagnostic. Praise the demon. Wow.
I've been hearing a lot of that lately.
Yeah, people like that.
No, not the
phrase.
praise the demon. I mean, that is, yes, that's a great
Oh,
tagline. But I've been hearing a lot of people saying that they have improved their score 15 or 20 points.
Wow.
It's a learnable test. People improve a shit ton. I mean, they have to work hard to get it, but yeah.
Well, one thing that's cool about the demon is the science does back it up. Like we're giving people problems right above their skill level, and that's supposed to be the best use of time. So
that's the
maybe it
drilling
really
feature
is.
specifically in the demon. The demon
Yeah.
watches your mistakes and gives you questions that are at that just right level of difficulty. So it's like a stretch, little bit of a stretch, not too much of a stretch, but just a little bit of a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, people seem to be improving a lot. Yeah.
Maybe it's working.
Apparently.
Yeah. I was admitted to 10 schools, waitlisted at 2, and rejected from 2. Okay. I applied broadly to a healthy mix of safeties, neutral, and reach schools. I learned that these schools don't always follow the mold and really do whatever the hell they want. For example, I was waitlisted at a safety school and was well above their 75th percentile in both LSAT and GPA.
Probably just for yield protection.
Yeah, that's probably true. So maybe they weren't just totally crazy. But I was given a full ride at multiple schools where I was just below the 75th percentile in both categories. Yeah, that actually kind of makes sense. So, but cool. Before I applied, I emailed every single school and requested CAS and application waivers. CAS is the
$45 report fee for the credential assembly service fee. That is a $45 email that they send out to every school.
It's crazy. That's where they're getting all the money for the hotels.
Yeah. Don't feel bad about asking them for free shit because they print money.
100% of my schools gave me an application waiver, and a handful gave me a CAS waiver. Cha-ching.
Yeah,
that is
I mean,
well over.
That's $45 for every one of those CAS waivers, and then almost every school they waive those application fees pretty easily, which are $100 a piece, something like that.
Crazy. 75, 100, 125. Yeah.
Yep.
That is well over the $1,000 saved. Oh, that is well over $1,000 saved right off the bat. I started hearing from schools as early as 2 days after I applied and as late as 6 months after. Well, that's good to know, by the way. Everybody take note of that. You can hear within 2 days or 6 months. A lot of people, it's a panic time when they're waiting to hear back. I received a scholarship, i.e. promo code, to every school I was admitted to.
What a joke that
Wow.
is. What a stupid system that is. Just everybody gets a scholarship. Everyone's special. Okay.
Everyone, that is this new time period that we're in.
Yeah.
Six of those schools gave me full rides, and 2 of the 6 gave me a stipend. Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
It means they're giving you money.
Get paid for law school.
Yeah. Once I had all of my initial offers, I began my negotiations. I found it interesting that some schools negotiated on a more personal level through emails, and some required paperwork submitted online with no discussion. Methodically, I contacted the schools that had given me a partial scholarship, and if they could not upgrade me to a full ride, I withdrew. Then
Ruthless. Love it.
yeah, you got to make decisions, right? It's easier
Yep.
when you have choices. Then I worked through the full ride offers and asked for a stipend. Since I already had stipends on the table, I also withdrew from the schools that would not add a stipend to their offer. A couple of schools came back after I emailed to withdraw with slightly better offers, but they still couldn't get into the ballpark of my best offers.
So that's, again, after she's withdrawing, she's already told them, all right, guys, sorry, I'm withdrawing my application. And more than one of them are coming back with like, oh, well, wait, we talked to our manager and we have this other better deal. And still she's like, nope, I got
talk
other.
to our manager.
Yep.
Oh, hold up. Well, this proves, I don't know if it proves, but it strongly supports the claim that you have made multiple times throughout this podcast, and that is to apply broadly. When you have choices,
Yeah.
you can walk away. When you don't have choices, you can't walk away.
Yeah. And here she is literally walking away, and then they're coming back after her. Oh, sorry. Figuratively.
Yeah.
Walking
Maybe
away.
she did. Maybe she walked away from the
if
computer.
she was in
He's
the
like,
office.
Fuck you.
She is actually withdrawing is what I meant to say. And she is, and they are still coming back after her like, hey, wait a minute. We have this other, we forgot. We told you that was our final offer, but actually now that you've withdrawn your application and we know you're serious, we forgot. Here's more money. So yeah, you can't do that if you don't have the multiple offers in negotiations. If you take a negotiations class, they call this the BATNA, which is your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. BATNA.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And she had great alternatives. So she's trying to negotiate an agreement. And because she has a high BATNA, she's willing to walk away. And when you have a high BATNA and you're willing to walk away, then the other side has no fucking chance in the negotiation. They just have to offer you more and more, like the best they possibly can to keep you.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anyone wants to read more about negotiation, I would suggest Never Split the Difference by, I think it's Chris Voss. But anyways, talks about BATNA in that a little bit. The key takeaway there is that you got to know that sometimes no deal is better than a deal.
Yep.
Finally, I narrowed down my options to Redacted and the University of Utah. Incrementally, they increased their offers over the period of a couple of months. Ultimately, I ended negotiations with a full ride, $5,000 yearly stipend, and no conditions at
School
Redacted,
mm-hmm.
and a full ride, a $4,500 yearly stipend, and a guaranteed paid graduate research position starting my second year, and no conditions at Utah. Well,
congratulations.
Cow. Yeah, you just got yourself a corner office.
Baller, man. Amazing.
A golden parachute.
Full ride, stipend, and a paid job her second year.
With no conditions.
She could just get C minuses and keep all
If
those.
you're just joining us, yeah, a lot of these scholarships, stipends, whatever, have conditions. You don't keep a certain GPA, you lose that money, which could be a huge hit, right? They're saying no conditions. Wow. Okay. Nice work, by the way. Although redacted, SchoolX had a higher stipend amount, yeah, $500. The salary from the graduate research position plus the stipend at Utah was a higher offer. Sweet.
I would hope that it pays more than $500 a year. But yeah.
She continues, when the, I don't know, he or she, but anyways, when the pandemic hit, the redacted was instantly shut down. Even now, months later, I don't have a job to return to. Honestly, I was really scared at first, but I've been working so hard to change careers that this poetically great timing for the whatever to shut down. This is poetically great timing for the.
She had another job. She had another career, but she was like looking to get out of it. And COVID made it happen for her. COVID was just like, guess what? Your industry does not exist anymore.
Yeah, a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to express how thankful I am that I found your podcast over a year ago. I had already unsuccessfully taken the LSAT once when I discovered the Thinking LSAT, and you guys dramatically changed my approach to the test and the admissions process. Because of you guys, I can confidently say during these uncertain times that I am not paying for law school, and even better, I am being paid to attend a law school. I will be moving to Salt Lake City and starting at the University of Utah this fall. Everyone needs to work harder and follow every bit of advice from this podcast. Whoa. Listen up, folks.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no reason to pay for law school. Yeah, can't agree more with that. Thank you so much again. Call me stress-free 1L. Ha ha. Cool.
Beautiful. That's one of the best emails I think we have ever gotten. Thank you.
Yeah.
Stress-free. I'm going to go back and look at her personal statement. I remember that it was pretty good, but yes, a win. If you know, by the way, hey, everybody who's going to the University of Utah this fall and paying full price, good luck competing with stress-free 1L while you're paying for her stipend. You're paying for her tuition and paying for her stipend. And
her
now you have
job.
to compete with her. Yeah, paying for her job her second year. And now you have to compete with her for grades. Good luck. Don't, you know, that there's nothing wrong with that school, but if you're paying full price, you shouldn't be there. It's not good. You're going to have to compete with somebody who has better grades, better LSAT score, just better prepared than you are. And that's not a good bargain. So there's other law schools. Go somewhere else and make sure that you're getting the deal she's getting at whatever law school you go to, or just don't go.
Yeah.
Okay. We have an email here from Montez. Montez says, I'm an incoming freshman with close to 30 college credits. So basically a sophomore. This dude has got his shit together.
I think this is when I was still treating college like high school and taking every class. I was taking a math class, anyways.
I don't know what I was doing. I was getting bad grades and planning to never go to grad school, and definitely not thinking about the LSAT when I was a freshman in college. Anyway, I know for a fact that I want to go to law school.
Whoa. Okay, I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, well, we would like to hear the evidence for that rather than just the naked conclusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, maybe Montez has lawyers in the family. Maybe Montez did 3 years worth of worked maybe his high school job was in a law firm. I don't know. It's possible.
Maybe,
but
I would suggest that after he's taken 30 college credits, that's awesome. But you got to take more classes and just experience things that are totally outside your wheelhouse and see if you might not be more excited about something else. I don't know.
Yeah, if we can talk you out of it, we're more than happy to talk you out of it. So it does seem awful young to know for a fact that you want to go to law school.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get the LSAT out of the way as soon as possible. I got a 149 on my diagnostic. That's damn good. I mean, that's perfectly fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could improve your score by 20 points.
For a freshman and a diagnostic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Um, and I'm close to finishing the LSAT trainer.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. After completing,
Sorry.
I don't know. I don't actually know if it's that bad. People like it, but it
They
says
like
to
it,
read
but
the question stem
they read
first,
the
which makes
questions
me
at
just
first.
be like,
Just
after completing, I plan on taking another test. Oh, wow. So doing that whole book and then doing another test seems inefficient. I've
I'd
been
rather
on
do,
Reddit
yeah.
looking for recommendations, and everyone keeps recommending that I worry about the LSAT later and just focus on my grades. I'm not sure I agree with that advice, really. I don't think you should be able to do both. It's not like college. It's not like it's that hard to get good grades, let's be honest.
Well, especially this guy, he's got everything going for
No,
him.
this guy's
Sounds
got his
like
shit
he's like
together. So,
ready to do more stuff. Like
right,
Friday night, it's 4 p.m. It's like my friends aren't going to hang out till 6. What can I do with these 2 hours? So,
right, right. Or he's like, oh yeah, I'm not going out drinking anyway. I'm working on the LSAT because I'm a serious person.
yeah.
Okay, after completing. Oh wait, I already said that. I wouldn't plan on doing anything too intense that would cause my grades to slip. And it'd just be something like an hour a day, which is what we always recommend anyway, to do an hour a day of prep. I have no problem with I mean, it does seem too soon to be so certain that you want to go to law school, but maybe he has reasons, whatever. Give him credit for he is on the law school path. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing an hour a day of LSAT prep. You should be able to still get straight A's and do an hour a day of LSAT prep.
Well, I would argue too that your LSAT is going to actually, if you study the LSAT, especially just like in the demon, just do practice problems and get better at them, your grades are going to go up.
It's just going to
You're
make you
just going
smarter.
to, it's going to make
Yeah.
you smarter. You're going to be a better reader, a better
Yeah.
thinker.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah. If you drill the shit out of logical reasoning and get good at logical reasoning, that seems like the best thing you could possibly do to make yourself smarter. I mean,
Maybe we need to rebrand like the
no
demon
shit.
and have like LSAT demon and then just like demon or or something, right? And just let people go do logic games and whatever, logical reason, all that stuff.
Yeah, I would love for high school kids. How old's your oldest?
He's going to be 16 soon.
Yeah, I'd love to see like what he would do in the demon. Just,
Yeah.
you know, I know he'd be, you know, it's not like he's going to miss every question. For sure, he'd be getting lots of questions right, and as he reasons his way through them, I'm sure he'd be getting smarter. And
no way, that's actually, I'm going to have him do that because I just subscribe to like a learning platform, you know, that all the kids can use during the summer because they do need a little like mental stimulation in that regard. And it's easy. I just say go to do this thing for like 15 minutes or 20 minutes every day, right? Has reading, math. Why not? I think I'm gonna have him do the demon.
yeah, totally.
Thank you.
Yeah. If I start studying now, I'll probably try to take the test around April, May, or June of 2021 if I'm hitting my target score. So I guess what I'm asking for is your opinion on what I should do. Oh, Montez. Thanks. Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. Do the LSAT demon. I mean, if you want to study with us, do the LSAT demon. Do an hour a day. And
that's perfect.
Sure, take the test in April, May, or June. I mean, because this dude already has a full year of college credits, so he's probably going to graduate. He seems like he's got his shit together. He's probably going to graduate in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if he takes the LSAT in, a year from now, spring of 2021 or summer of 2021, then that's going to be actually the summer before his junior year. And then he's got 2 more years. He can start doing applications a year after that, like right before his senior year.
Yeah.
If that's really the way, I mean, yeah, my other advice is like, forget about all of this and plan on going and traveling the world for a year after you graduate and just like, don't make any decisions and wait. But if you're so sure, then yeah, get straight A's, start studying for the LSAT now, take it as soon as you're ready, then you're done with it. And then you can apply before your senior year. And yeah, he could just waltz right into law school.
Yeah. Also, if he hates the LSAT, then that's another good sign that maybe this isn't the right path. So,
Yeah, I don't
do
think
it
he's
now.
going to, though. 149 diagnostic. I think
Yeah.
he's going to make pretty good progress. I see this dude ending up knocking on the door of 170, especially if he does an hour a day between now and next summer. I mean, that's like probably will get to 170.
Yeah. My last
Excellent.
advice would
Yeah.
be to take look for electives that interest you but that are far away from your current whatever degree that
Yeah,
you're
but make sure you get
pursuing.
an A in them.
Make sure you get an AM, but if they interest you, and it sounds like he's gonna have his shit together, I just want him to expose himself to other domains.
Take them pass no pass, maybe if there's no like if there's any chance if you don't if you know if you maybe you've heard that it's like hard or something, take the class or audit the class. That might even be
Sure.
better. But just grades really do matter a lot, especially for the top 14. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like my advice normally for people, if I'm advising someone who hasn't even started college yet, it's like just make sure you get straight A's. Just
Yeah.
get straight A's.
Yeah.
Step one. I don't care. Take whatever you want, but just get straight A's because it's going to make a huge difference for your application. Okay. That's it for Montez. Thank you for writing in. You ready to do this logical reasoning question?
Let's do it.
I think it's yours to read.
Okay. This is from Test 65, Section 4, Question 3. Travel industry consultant. Several airlines are increasing elbow room and leg room in business class because surveys show that business travelers value additional space more than, say, better meals. But, okay, that's why they're doing that. But airlines are over concerned about the comfort of passengers flying on business. They should instead focus on the comfort of leisure travelers because those travelers purchase 80% of all airline tickets. Okay. I'm already upset. Are you?
Yeah, I was actually surprised that you didn't start yelling when you got to that semicolon.
Mm,
I was a little bit surprised that you didn't like. I mean, I bet you did in your head, right? Just like object to that.
sure. It is like a blanket conclusion at that point.
Well,
Yeah.
it also goes again. I mean, you just said surveys show that business travelers value additional space more than, for example,
Mm-hmm.
better meals.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes, but airlines are over concerned about the comfort of passengers flying on business. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
the needle comes skipping off of the record right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
It's a normative claim, right? I mean, it's over concerned,
Mm-hmm.
has a judgment in it.
Yeah.
So that's just worth that's the type of shit that we need to notice. You get to that and then you're expecting evidence and then they do give
Mm-hmm.
you some evidence, right?
Yeah. They should instead focus on the comfort of leisure travelers. Okay, so they're too concerned about business folks. Instead, they should be more concerned about leisure travelers, the rest of us, because those travelers purchase 80% of all airline tickets. I agree with that fact. That sounds about right. Even if it isn't true, we have to accept it as true because it's a premise, but that don't matter. Right? Just because the number of tickets sold to leisure travelers is higher, 5 times higher, right? That doesn't mean that they're making that much money from them. They're probably all economy tickets,
Okay.
whereas
So
business might.
yep. So now you're pointing out the difference between revenue and just ticket sales.
Yeah.
As far as we know, it could be that the airlines lose money on leisure travel
Mm-hmm.
and they only do that to fill up the plane so that they can charge the business travelers whatever they want to charge them, right? It could be that business travelers are just like the key to this whole industry.
Yeah.
Maybe business travelers are also leisure travelers. Oh, think about that.
Hmm.
Right? Like that when they're not working, when they're not traveling for business, they might travel for leisure.
Mm-hmm.
But if you attract the business travel customers, then you might also get their leisure travel business.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good objection to make here.
Yeah.
Also, why not both?
Lots of problems.
Like, why wouldn't you service the business customers as well as you possibly could? What does pointing out that, oh, we sell more leisure tickets, so I mean, we should just ignore the requests or the desires of the other segment of our. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I don't want to hijack.
Oh, no worries. Which one of the following? So the question says, which one of the following, if true, most weakens the reasoning in the travel industry consultant's argument? This is a bottom-up question. It's a weakening question. It's bottom-up because we have to accept all 5 answer choices as true, even if we disagree with them. Which one of the following, if true? So I'm looking for something that's, if it were true, would make me doubt the conclusion that they should instead focus on the comfort of leisure travelers.
Okay.
I'm going to be like, oh, maybe not actually. A, business travelers often make travel decisions based on whether they feel a given airline values their business. Okay, well, that's probably true for, well, I don't know if that's true for everybody, but regardless, I don't know. I don't care about this because that could be true for leisure travelers as well. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily make me feel like the business travelers are more important than the leisure travelers.
Also, it's inherently weak, right? Because of the word often.
Mm-hmm.
Often means sometimes. So, what?
Oh, I lost you for a half second. But anyways, yeah, go ahead.
No, often means sometimes. So,
yeah,
the fact that they sometimes make travel decisions based on whether they feel a given airline values their business doesn't mean they always do. It could be that 2 business travelers do this. So it's an inherently weak answer, which is not a good answer for a bottom up question, right? We would prefer an always there would make that better.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't know that it really does that much because there might be other ways to make them feel that we value their business besides increasing the leg room.
Yeah.
Surveys say that they like legroom, but maybe if we smile at them when they come on board, they understand, they feel that we value their business, or we send them nice emails, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, also, this doesn't talk about the leisure travelers. So I'm like, I don't know why we should shift our focus more to them just because business travelers often make these decisions. I don't know anything about the leisure ones.
Okay.
B, also weak. Some airlines have indicated that they will undertake alterations in seating space throughout the entire passenger area of their planes in the near future. Okay. This talks about neither business nor leisure travelers. It only talks about at least one airline, and I don't really care about any of this.
Also, alterations in seating space.
We don't know whether it's up or down.
Right. That's a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier, where it's just changes, but we don't know whether it's making more room or less room. So then how could it be a strengthener or a weakener? If I don't know which way that goes, then I just, there's no way I'm going to include that fact in my brief when I don't even know what that fact means.
Yeah.
Right? You don't,
Your Honor, they're going to undertake alterations.
Of course, that means they're making more room, Your Honor. It says alterations. The judge is like, it doesn't say bigger. The other attorney is like, alterations. Yes, they are making it smaller. Okay.
Oops. Yeah. C, sleeping in comfort during long flights is not the primary concern of leisure travelers.
Whoa.
Okay. Well, it still might be a concern. Either way, this is how I react to a lot of wrong answers. Like, what?
Yep, exactly. Because it's I expect the wrong answers to be wrong. So when they bring up a new idea, the new idea doesn't automatically make it wrong. It's just like, wait, sleeping in comfort? Okay, that wasn't part of the argument.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about adding a little bit of elbow and leg room. That's not the same thing necessarily as sleeping in comfort.
Is anyone sleeping? They might not
Ugh,
be.
I wish I could sleep on planes, but I can't. But anyway, it's not the primary concern of leisure travelers. Yeah, I just read that and I go, next. Like,
Yeah.
what?
D. A far greater proportion of an airline's revenues is derived from business travelers than from leisure travelers.
Ooh.
Boom. That just goes right at the heart of our concern. They're basically trying to argue that they should be more concerned about leisure travelers because they make up such a great percentage of airline tickets. But do they make up a great percentage of airline revenue? Much bigger issue.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we know in real life that business class costs like 5 times as much as economy. And so, I mean,
Yeah.
that's common sense. You know, lots of times students are like, well, but wait, but that's outside information. You're not allowed to bring that in. But I'm not bringing that in as fact. I was bringing it in as conjecture, right? I was bringing it in as what about, what if?
What if that is the case? That could be a
As I do
problem.
happen to know to be true in real life, that business class
Mm-hmm.
costs a lot more than economy. And they had been talking about making these improvements to business class, talking about business travelers. And it's like, well, wait a second. Yeah, they might sell a lot of economy tickets, but they might make a lot more money off of the business class because they charge so much for it.
Yeah.
That was my like, yes, I'm using outside information in order to make that objection.
Mm-hmm.
But D makes that a fact because it's a bottom up, right? It says if true in the which one if true in the question stem.
Yeah.
So now D becomes a fact that they make a far greater proportion of their airline revenues on business travel than they do from economy.
Yeah.
Perfect answer. Okay.
Perfect answer. E. Most leisure travelers buy airline tickets only when fares are discounted. Cool, but we don't know whether they're still making more money from leisure travelers or not. We don't know what this means. So even though it has this stronger language like most, um, okay, and only when they're discounted. Oh, great. But how much are they discounted? And are they still making more money
Right.
from
And
leisure travelers? They might be.
discounted from what?
Yeah.
This might be like law school, right? Where they have the outrageously overinflated price in the first place, and then they give everybody a discount.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't affect the argument at all. It's like, oh yeah, no, they'll only buy it if it's discounted. But don't worry, we overcharge them brutally in the first place.
Yeah.
Give everybody a discount so they feel special. Then that doesn't do anything to this argument at all.
Boom. It's
Good
answer
example
D.
of one where we predicted the answer well before we read the question stem, by the way. Reading the question stem here would not have helped us in the slightest because we read the argument, we attacked the argument, and it's like obvious. There's an obvious objection that could be made. And you make that objection, and it like half the time turns out to be the answer.
If you made that prediction as well, congratulations. You're not alone. This is a difficulty 1 question out of 5, which means a lot of people got it right.
This is a good one to study if you didn't make that prediction, right? Or you need to like kind of reassess your approach if you didn't make that prediction.
If that wasn't, if you didn't have any thoughts along those lines, you might get this question right, but it means you're not clued in enough to what's going on.
Yeah.
Because this is an easy one to sort of like say bullshit.
It's to give people an insight into like what LSAT tutoring looks like. LSAT tutoring would be, I make you read the argument like Ben just did.
Yep.
Probably when you got to the semicolon, I would have been like, wait a second. Or I'll let you read the whole argument. And then when you get done with the argument, I'm like, what do you think about that?
Yes.
That's
and if you say, okay, sounds good, you say,
no,
that doesn't sound good.
No. Like, tell me, is this good or bad? Do you think they proved their conclusion or not? What do you think about it? And then sometimes the students will go because they want to please the teacher, right? So they'll go, oh, well, it's bullshit.
Yes. They learn. At first they're like, it sounds good. Then they learn that that's usually not good. Sometimes it is good though, because sometimes these arguments are okay. But in most cases they're not. And they start saying, oh, it's bullshit. And they even have that gusto, right?
Mhm.
You're like, okay, how?
Yeah, just great. You're right. It is. Explain it to me. And then, hopefully I can make them get around to, that's all I'm trying to do really is like elicit them to then make the prediction based on the argument, not based on the answer choices. And I'm like,
Yeah.
do not look at the answer choices.
Not even based on the question.
No, not based on the question, based only on the argument. This is reason
Yeah.
number 759 why reading the question stem first is dumb. It's because you should already have come to that prediction way before you found out that this was a weekend question. It does not help
Yeah.
you at all to know that this is a weekend question.
Yeah.
All right. I think one LR question per episode has got to be enough, don't you think?
Sure.
All right. So let's just wrap it up then on this email that I still get from the alumni list. Someday maybe they'll take me off of the alumni list for me popping off about it on the podcast all the time. But Chancellor and Dean David Faigman. Actually, you know what? Because we say his name, I'm sure he's any publicity.
He's
is
like,
good
no.
publicity
Keep
type
it.
guy. Yeah.
I can take the heat.
Yeah. At least you're talking about me. The subject is Tenderloin litigation resolution. And it says, I'm not going to read all this. Dear UC Hastings community, less than 6 weeks ago, on May 4, I wrote to tell you that UC Hastings and 5 co-plaintiffs had filed suit against the city and county of San Francisco to seek desperately needed measures to clear the Tenderloin of sidewalk blocking tent encampments, to address the serious problem of open air drug dealing, and to increase the safety of all the neighborhood's housed and unhoused residents, businesses, and visitors. And I can see that Ben has highlighted that sentence because that means that Ben is going to give us the word count.
Yeah, you want to guess?
47.
68.
68.
Yeah, 2 more words and you could have
Wow.
2 sentences that would still fail our 35 word limit. But I think we've knocked that down to 25, haven't we? I mean, gosh, 35 words. That's absurd.
It's also the incredible double semicolon. And then it's got the semicolon and there at the end, which I guess the way he's doing those, because he's doing lists within lists, right?
He's doing lists within lists. And if you're doing lists within lists, you've got a problem. I just don't think it's grammatically correct, but it's unnecessary.
And Ben, of those, how many words?
68.
68? Mm-hmm. 4 of them are and.
Whoa. Okay.
Maybe 1 and per sentence, but probably not. I love that. That's one of the best tips that you ever give, Ben. I love that you're just like you're always pointing out in documents that we edit together. You're always pointing out people's ands. Just like don't make this 2 sentences. You do not need to put an and here or cut one of the things out.
Yeah.
You don't need to have this whole list of all the things. Pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway.
Cool.
So they have reached an agreement. Oh, sorry. We didn't get there yet because he's burying the lead. He just gives the 67 word thing about the background without the, okay. Anyway.
It's like a summary of his last email. This actually should have been his last email right here. That would have been nice. Then he could have been
the whole email, just that.
Yeah.
Boom, we filed suit. Okay. I am very pleased to announce today that we have reached an agreement with the city that will allow us to achieve these goals. Really don't like that he keeps capitalizing city, but okay. First, the agreement provides for removing 70% of the tents on Tenderloin sidewalks by July 20 of this year from 416 to 124.
What a random number.
I know. Is that weird that they like negotiated a deal? They got the city to commit to reducing the number of tents from 416 down to 120. The city was like, nope, we will not go lower than 124.
How'd you like to be number 125? They're like, yep, sorry, buddy, your tent's got to go. And I guess they know the number of tents. There are
Yeah, they
416.
counted 416. They're like, well, 124 of them we're going to keep. Okay. And offering options for the unhoused people to move to hotel rooms, safe sleeping sites, or alternative shelter locations. It also commits the city to make all reasonable efforts to achieve the shared goal of permanently reducing the number of tents to 0, an objective the city has expressly committed to meeting under the agreement. The city has clearly stated its intention to provide sufficient sheltering options so that no resident of San Francisco must resort to sleeping on a sidewalk or street. This represents an enormous step forward for the homeless people of our city and for everyone who cares about the health, safety, and dignity of all of our citizens. You can tell, actually, Ben, when you read this whole email, he must have got some flack for that lawsuit, because he's taking extra measures here to be like really conciliatory, like really respectful of the homeless people, which, I mean, it's a sad problem. But I mean, the truth is he sued the city of San Francisco to get the homeless people kicked out of his neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's what he did. And now he's like, hey, I won. We're going to reduce the number of tents. Oh, but don't worry, though. They're all going to be safely housed. And I'm really concerned about the housing of these people.
Yeah.
A second important initiative arising from the lawsuit is the establishment of a high-level working group to address the difficult and incessant problem of drug dealing in the neighborhood and the related ills that have created unsafe and unhealthy conditions in the Tenderloin for too many years. Why don't they put all this in their like admissions packet? I will join Mayor London Breed on this working group. Retired presiding judge of the San Francisco Superior Court and current San Francisco Fire Commissioner, Catherine Feinstein, UC Hastings, 1984, will chair this group. It will be comprised of very senior leaders in pertinent capacities who will approach the multiple issues associated with drug dealing, including gang activity, street crime, mental illness, and drug addiction, from diverse perspectives, seeking to identify systemic problems and provide novel solutions.
Dude, this guy is a word vomiter.
He needs to get rid of those fucking adjectives, dude. Those are gross.
He's like a dictionary that just wants to show its knowledge.
We would not permit this in a personal statement.
No way.
Those adjectives that really makes me want to puke. Why do you have to have an adjective for every fucking noun? We know that you're talking about drug dealing on the streets and homeless people. I don't think you need to, dude, very senior leaders.
That actually, like, it has a weird image. It's like, as opposed to senior leaders who have experience, you're thinking of experienced people.
Now they're like they need to be put out to pasture, basically.
Yeah, is this like Biden? Like,
he's not just senior; he's a super senior. He's there at fucking dinner at 3:30 p.m., dude. Not just 5 p.m. He's there at 3:30 p.m. He gets the discount. He gets the senior. He gets the very senior menu, not just the senior menu. Dude, why do they have to be in pertinent capacities? What? We thought you were going to put them in capacities that were not pertinent?
Are you getting qualified folks here? Because I'm suspicious.
Jesus Christ. Okay. And then it goes on and on. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. That's it. Anyway, he sued the city of San Francisco and he won. I don't know. These things, who knows who wins, right? He got to do a press release, then he got to do another press release. And now he's claiming that, they're going to clean up San Francisco because of him.
Hey, check this out. I wanted to read this sentence because he lowercases the word city.
Oh.
The neighborhood houses more children per capita than any other district in the city. 3,000 children among some 20,000 residents. Thanks for that stat, by the way, Dean Faigman. Just odd.
he's taking extra pains there to just, list all of the many disenfranchised and disadvantaged people in the neighborhood. And he's making all of the like signs of how much he respects all of these people that he basically is getting kicked out of the neighbor, like it's just.
Check this out. He's got parentheses within parentheses. I know you're done with this email, but I'm just getting started. Look, what is up with that?
I don't know what he's doing. He's listing in that part. He's just doing it's like the credits are rolling at the end of the movie because he's just listing every attorney who helped with this.
And then
Fantastic
defining
lawsuit.
things about them, which is like, it's almost like a blue book. I mean, this is insane.
Nobody goes to Hastings. Don't go to Hastings. Just don't. You could go to USF. USF's up on the hill. USF is in a much nicer location. And USF, if you can get into Hastings, you can probably get a significant scholarship from USF. It's just every bit as good as a law school. It is not. It is just fine. It is a fine regional law school, the same way that Hastings is a fine regional law school. And Hastings is in a very gross neighborhood. And I say that as someone who's lived in cities my whole life, and I'm not really intimidated by gross neighborhoods, but it is about as gross as they get. So gross that the dean of the law school just sued the city to try to get it cleaned up. And I'm sure that's going to be a smashing success. I'm sure that it'll all be solved now that they got the city to enter into this agreement.
It's interesting. All right.
Okay. We wrap it up?
Yeah.
Join the Thinking LSAT podcast group on Facebook. Find us at Thinking LSAT on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Infox on Twitter. Ben is at InnovatorBen on Instagram. LSATdemon.com is the one-stop shop for LSAT prep these days, really. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're looking for. You want something that you can use for self-study? LSATdemon.com. You want to join me and us in our live classes 7 days a week? You want to come to game night this Wednesday? LSATdemon.com. Sign up for the live level and start doing live classes 7 days a week. It's awesome. ThinkingLSAT.com if you want to read the show notes and join the show newsletter. The show notes are better than the show itself, so check that out. Leave us a review on iTunes, please, and tell a friend. That was episode 251 of the Thinking LSAT podcast. Thanks all y'all for listening. Nice knowing you. Don't pay for law school / get paid for law school, like Stress Free 1.0.
Yeah. Did you hear that thunder?
No, I did not. You got a big thunder song?
Bummer. Yeah. It was like perfect timing. Like the show ended. It's like, ta-da.
God approves of this episode. Great.
God approves.